Live from Edward T. Berry Ice Rink on the campus of UMass Boston. First, some New England Hockey Conference women's action featuring the visiting 1-4 University of Southern Maine Huskies and the 3-1 UMass Boston Beacons. Good afternoon, everybody. Andrew Bluestein alongside my broadcast partner, Matt Meisenbacher. We thank you for joining us on the Beacons Broadcast Network. This broadcast today is brought to you by McCourt Construction. Well, Matt, these two teams coming in here today, both looking hungry. The Beacons just came off of a 4-0 win over Salem State, looking to stay hot as we look at some season statistics coming up here heading into tonight's game, or this afternoon's game.
It's been a good start for the Beacons. You take a look at the first two games, wins against Suffolk and New England College, stumbled a little bit against Norwich University, and then a 4-0 win last night against Salem State. Coming in against Southern Maine tonight, an interesting opponent, conference play, 1-4 Southern Maine team, going to be a little bit shorthanded. We'll get into the roster situation a little bit there. But a UMass team that has to be feeling pretty good, all things considering. Again, the one loss against Norwich, otherwise a really good start to the year.
Yeah, as we look at the stats here, the goals per game favoring the Beacons at 1.70 to the Huskies 1. The goals against average for the Beacons, a little inflated, as you mentioned, that loss against Norwich, which we won't mention. Want to move on from that one, is a 10-0 score. That's the reason for the inflated goals against average. The Huskies not much better, though, in that department at 3. Power play percentage, the Beacons have not scored on the power play this year, something we'd like to see them establish a little bit more today. And 11.1% for the Huskies, not too much success for them either. Penalty kill looking strong for the Beacons at 77.8% and 75% for the Huskies. Shots per game, 22.3 for the Beacons, 19.8 for the Huskies, and penalty minutes per game a little bit high for the Beacons at 12.70. Kind of want to tone that down a little bit, and 5 for the Huskies.
Yeah, and I think anybody that's been around the game of hockey knows special teams and how important they are. And you take a look at the 0%. Again, early, only a handful of games in, but something that the Beacons definitely want to recognize, get that number other than a 0. Anything but a 0 at this point is good. And then the penalty kill, I think both teams in the 70s is really not where you need to be. That needs to be closer, high 80s, low 90s is traditionally what we see. So those are two areas I think today, special teams to see which team, and that a lot of times can be the difference if you have a better penalty kill or a better power play, especially in a tight game, which this projects to be.
Yeah, you have to capitalize on your opportunities on special teams. And with that, we'll step aside for a quick break, and we'll be right back on the Beacons Broadcast Network. And welcome back here inside Edward T. Berry Ice Rink. Andrew Bluestein and Matt Meisenbacher here with you as we look down. Some alumni in the building for the ceremonial first puck drop tonight here, Meisey.
Yeah, not really sure how we're going to do, what do we got, six people for one puck drop here? I guess assistant coach Mo Bradley is going to handle the actual puck drop, but just to give you a sense of who we got here from right to left, Marin Brown, Edie Moritz, assistant coach Mo Bradley, Alexandra Carlos, Alyssa DePippo, and associate trainer, actually a good friend of mine, Capion. She works with Ed a lot, and we were the same class, so Alexa Capion there on the left side.
Well, I guess they let one of them do the honors. They're missing the carpet that goes right to center ice.
I was going to say, these girls, I mean, they're all former hockey players, so they know what to expect here, but, you know, it's still risky there. It's slippery. No snow on the ice. Fresh sheet.
Don't want to take any chances as now we look at a matchup to watch here tonight between these two teams. As we see on the right, for the Huskies, Madison Chagnon leads the team in points so far. 2 goals, 1 assist, 3 points, has a +2 on the season. And for the Beacons, Emily Hansen comes in with 2 points, 1 goal, 1 assist, and she is even on the season. What are you looking out of these two players here tonight?
For Chagnon, I think what's interesting to me, we were talking about it off air, she's actually the third-line center. Now, obviously, those lines can be adjusted. It's not like it's set in stone, but I find it interesting. Leads the team in points, plays third-line center. So that might be a matchup thing, trying to get her maybe with a better matchup with that playing that third line. And then Hansen, a freshman, almost a point per game. 4 games played, 3 points. Can't ask for much better than that to start to a college career. She's 5'7" out of Illinois, a freshman in her own right, and she'll be the second-line center today.
Always good when you can get production out of your second and third-line centers for both teams. As we take a quick sneak peek at the Beaks weekend games here. Cross-country East Regionals at Bowdoin College at noon. Men's soccer today. NCAA tournament versus Tufts, 1:30 p.m. I'm sure that game is in process right now. Women's hockey, obviously we're here for that one, 3 p.m. right here, right now. And men's hockey is on the road today as well at Southern Maine. That puck drop will be at 4 p.m. As we'll step aside again here for a quick break as the national anthem will be played.
Passion's love. Passion is love for what you do. Because I think when you face challenges, it comes down to how much you want it and how much you love it. Passion is what keeps you going forward. Seeing so many people that were like-minded and so hardworking in their sport and academics, being surrounded by like-minded people makes you want to be more passionate. I think it pushes you to a different level that maybe you didn't think you had. And you can do the best of both worlds and love all of it.
A good citizen is someone who wants to make a positive impact, both in their communities and in the world around them. The Division III approach is absolutely the best approach out there for amateur sport because it wants student athletes to explore all parts of who they are. Be successful in the classroom, be successful in competition, be successful in the community. So our student athletes learn what it means to strive for and attain success, but doing it the right way and being good citizens.
Proportion to me is the lived experience.
And we're back
of
here
Division III
just ahead of puck
student
drop. We're
athletes.
going to go over the starting goaltenders for tonight's contest. First for the visiting Southern Maine Huskies, it's going to be Haley McKim coming in out of Moncraft, NB Canada, coming in with a 1-4 record, a 2.40 goals against average, and a 9.23 save percentage. For the UMass Boston Beacons, it'll be Victoria Kennedy out of Winthrop, Massachusetts, home of the legendary Mike Ruzioni, and she comes in with a 2-1 record, a 2.63 goals against average, and a .919 save percentage, also 1 shutout to go along with that.
McKim, the goaltender from New Brunswick. You don't see a ton of of hockey. I mean, I'm sure they play hockey up there, but definitely in this league, not a ton of people from New Brunswick. So interesting note there. And you mentioned Kennedy, who's been the starter here for quite some time. Numbers probably not exactly where she wants them to be, but again, early in the year, plenty of time to improve upon those. They're going to need her today. I would expect this Southern Maine team really put a lot of pucks on net. They're a little bit light on the roster side. They've got 3 less than what the maximum is allowed, so I would expect them to shoot from everywhere.
And we're underway. A stalemate off the draw. The Beacons look to establish the forecheck earlier here, but the puck finds its way back behind the Huskies' net. That's Jess McLean with it, plays it up the far side half wall, battled for there. It's a rugby scrum as puck tied up in some skates, finally poked out loose. That comes out to Madison Chagnon. Now up the ice, perhaps a chance there, but good job by Gabby Schnotz getting back. That one's chipped off the boards in the neutral zone, but finds its way back to Schanz. Schanz goes D to Buddington. She plays it towards the middle. Now back the other way, a chance as Beacon's having a tough time getting the puck out of their own end here as the Huskies control it. That goes back to Colbert. She plays it on the far side to Dukas, but the Beacons get it back. That one chipped into the neutral zone, but Huskies doing a good job on the forecheck. A shot there gets sticked away. That was Dukas as Kennedy sticked that one to the corner. Sent right back in though by the Huskies. But Schanz with it, plays it up, was looking on the near side for Rafler, but she couldn't find it, and that will be an icing and our first stoppage.
Pretty easy start for Kennedy. I think most goaltenders would agree. That's one you'll like to start with. Just a nice little slow roller. Stick side, puts it in the corner.
Yeah, it didn't look like Peyton Dukas got all she wanted on that shot either, as the face-off to the right of Kennedy. And the linesman,
A bit of a false start, I believe.
yep, signaling for that false start. Should mention the officials today, Danica Kaparts and Richard Zanetti. The linesmen are Kyle Fournette and Joseph Leonard. That one's behind the net. Left off for Chason. Now McLean with it. Tries to send it towards the net. Gets into a pair of skates there. Now it goes on to the far side. Picking that up is Cramp. Sends it ahead, but back to retrieve it is St. Amant. Now behind the net, McLean, a collision there as it gets chipped up the near side. Back to retrieve it is Giuliano as she plays it up, leaves it off for Crepaldi. Crepaldi plays it off of a stanchion, funny bounce. This rink has those stanchions that stick out of the glass, so often funny bounces we see here as Crowley throws one towards the goal. Nice save, Kennedy, rebound, still loose at the crease, and Kennedy's able to find it with the glove.
Some old school goaltending there for you. Kennedy with a great extension to the glove side was able to get it with the pad. It looked like that puck was bouncing around, Andrew. She had to kind of corral herself, and fortunately found it right in front of her, was able to get it under the glove. But I think at least 2 saves, maybe 3 there in that little scrum.
And Crowley had a golden chance, 2 golden chances right on the doorstep. As Chagnon now gets it to the point for Thompson. Thompson cross corner dumping, but Butters jumps on it, plays it out back to the neutral zone. Thompson banks it off the boards and it's sent in. Both teams having some trouble getting possession of the puck here. Finally comes out loose, and that comes to McLean. McLean looks to skate it in. She does, tries to throw one towards goal, but it goes off of the leg of the defenseman. Now behind the net, sent up to the far side. Loose in front as the Beacons will control it now. Back behind the net, that's Emma Webster, the extra skater here this afternoon. A race for the puck down the ice, and they're going to say it's icing as Jess McLean just barely wins that race.
Early on in the period here, a couple things I'm noticing. One, I think the Beacons are almost taking too quick of a shift. It seems as though every time they get a chance to change, they're taking it. This early in the hockey game, I think you might want to try to extend. They don't have a shot on goal yet. You see an opportunity there, you're okay taking that extra few seconds there, maybe trying to generate some offense, as it's really been a lot of Southern Maine possession so far.
Webster plays it up into the neutral zone. And that's sent back behind the net. And one thing you mentioned, or we talked about before the broadcast, is the short bench for this Huskies team. They're missing 4 skaters that you would normally have in the lineup. Is the UMass Boston trying to take advantage of that? You mentioned those quick shifts.
You're exactly right, and realistically, you're looking at 3 forward lines, right? They have an extra skater that's, I guess, technically a quote-unquote 4th line, but it's only 1 player, so it's like having 3 lines with an extra skater. Now, if you're UMass, you can't really take advantage of that here. It's so early on, but late in the 3rd period, that's something you might want to be cognizant of, and especially with a full roster that UMass has.
This one comes out back to the neutral zone, sent in by Buddington. Behind the net, back to retrieve it is Aaron Tabor.
It's going to be a penalty, Andrew. It's going to be a trip.
So the Beacons will be shorthanded here. Back the other way, flipped in. As Buddington will touch up. As we'll take a look at that save by Kennedy, and that a few sequences ago is just a net mouse scramble. And we mentioned it looked like Dukas had a couple of chances to bury it.
Certainly did. The penalties on Reifler here for a trip. So we'll see this Southern Maine power play here getting an early opportunity in this hockey game. Already 3 shots on goal to UMass 0.
And some technical difficulties there as we'll try to get that save for you at some point. But Huskies to the power play. Comes back out to center. McLean. D to St. Amant. Now Crowley tries to bring it in. She chips it to the corner. Huskies come out with it. McLean to the point. Now it's Young with it. She throws one towards goal, hits a body in front. Huskies maintain possession. Chagnon plays it down low for Crowley. Back out to the point to McLean. Back to Crowley. Crowley walking towards the goal, shoots. That one goes just wide on the blocker's side. Chagnon with it. Sends it around off the kick blade behind the net. Now out to the point to McLean. McLean. That one sent towards the goal there. And a save by Kennedy as St. Amant sends it to this near side to Crowley. Now back down low. Chagnon back out top to St. Amant.
Beacons have to be careful here. Southern Maine has already changed 2 of their power play unit or individuals on this unit. Trying to see if they can complete that full change and really put UMass against the wall.
Now Stuymeist behind the net. That one sent towards goal but goes wide. Huskies doing a good job of maintaining possession here, just haven't had any quality chances. Now back out at the top, St. Amant, another shot gets blocked there. As this one comes back out to the neutral zone, and the Beacons will try to get a change as they get one at least. And right back in the offensive end come the Huskies, but that will do it for the power play. Beacons kill it off, but Huskies in the vulnerable minute trying to capitalize as that one was offside. It came to the neutral zone, so the Huskies will have to tag up here.
Yeah, they need to clear desperately. Still some of this PK unit left, so they're going to get a change here.
Thompson leaves it off, but right there was Reifler, and she sends it in. Goes right back to Thompson. Crowley comes out with it. Tries to send it through the neutral zone. That was behind the red line, and that's going to be an icing.
Great opportunity here for UMass. We'll take a look at that replay one more time, but on this icing, haven't had a lot of offense. A good opportunity here is we'll take a look. Great save, and then watch, she scrambles, and then the puck is just waiting for her there. Good awareness, though, to find that puck, not completely panic, and keep that tracking going. A great stop by Kennedy, but a big important face-off here for UMass. They're going to win it. They need to generate some offense here. About halfway through the period, they don't have a shot on goal yet.
Well, Huskies able to quickly exit the zone. That one's sent in around. Back to receive it is Giuliano, as Huskies doing a good job here with their zone time. Giuliano plays it on the near side half wall. That was intended for Reifler. Reifler's still battling there as the puck finally comes out loose. As a good defensive play there by Giuliano. That one comes back all the way to the Huskies' end. And Erin Tabor will receive it. Tabor quickly enters the zone. She's by herself now, leaves it off. That was disrupted by Crepaldi. Centering pass, nobody there. And Beacons try to exit the zone. They can't. That one's sent right back in the zone by Tabor. Seems as if the ice has been tilted here early in this first period, approaching 11:30 left to go. No score. As here come the Beacons. That one's sent in around behind the net. As the Huskies grab it right back. Colbert plays it over to McLean. Now McLean chips it off the boards out back to center. That goes to Butters. Margot Butters plays it into the middle. Finds Reifler, who leaves it off, and a full change here for the Beacons. That one teed up there by McLean and deflects off a stick into the roof. Low ceiling here at Edward T. Barry Ice Rink.
Very low. Yeah, it usually comes into play a few times in a hockey game. But I agree with your earlier statement in the sense that UMass just hasn't really possessed the puck enough to generate any offense. It seems like Southern Maine is very comfortable breaking out of their zone right now, getting through the neutral zone and establishing their offense. UMass has to do something to find the way to not just get this puck, but to keep it.
And the Huskies right back in the offensive end. Webster chips it off the kick blade. Goes to the far side. McDougall plays it to the point, but not out. That one's sent right back in by Stuymeist. Now it's being battled for in the corner. Pops out loose. Wilbert jumps on it. Plays it off the glass. Goes to center, and it bounced just over the stick of Kaylee Kozic. She could have had an odd man rush the other way. Now Kozic gets it back, and the puck bounces off her stick. Thompson plays it, looking for Crowley in the middle, but a nice job there. Disrupting the pass was Webster. But the Huskies look to headman it here as Chagnon chips it in. Webster back to receive it. Cramp battling there. This one comes back to center.
It's a lot of hope passes so far, Andrew. Just not tape to tape and not direct. It seems like just Beacons are putting into an area more than trying to find a player to pass to.
Cramp with a nice move, uses the board, stays with it. Gets it out to the point, looking for Schnotz. Couldn't handle the pass. As going back to receive it is Buddington. Gives it away though, and bounces off the Husky player's stick, and Buddington will just send it around. As Henningsen Brown tries to receive it. Huskies right back on it. Nice move there by Chagnon as she tries to go 1 against 3, and she'll head off for a change as the rest of her line mates do. Beacons looking control. A nice stick handling there, but comes right back behind the net. Reverse pass there. Doesn't get out. That one chipped out by Henningsen Brown. Now with speed the other way, Gustafson, but Thompson gets there first. That one finds Dukas, but nice job there on the forecheck by Maya Boyd, defenseman, as once again, Huskies look to break out here. Nice job though by Kozic getting in the way of that. Kozic gets around the defenseman. Kozic loses the puck, stays with it. Centering pass was looking for Gustafson. Couldn't thread the needle. Beacons though finally establishing a bit of a forecheck here, but they lose possession. Another chance in front, a shot, and a nice save. Puck's loose. Kozic stays with it.
That's a great save.
As McKim got a blocker on that, but Beacons establishing some offense. Centering pass just out of the reach of Wilbert. Couldn't get there. The timing was off, but a great chance. Probably the best of the game so far for the Beacons. And that one sent the other way and behind the red line, so it will be an icing.
Without a doubt, their best shift, and a true test for St. Kim. That was a tough shot from the slot. Your first one of the game, right on your doorstep. She was able to get it with the blocker, and not only that, controlled the rebound. There was a Beacon lurking there, was able to get that away from the slot. So a good start to the game for her. 2 shots, 2 saves, 2 challenging shots rather, and a good opportunity for UMass. You have your best shift of the game now, an in-zone draw in the offensive zone. Really important to win this and keep that momentum going.
7:40 left to go here, the first period, no score. Beacons win the draw. Webster throws one towards the net, hits a skate in front. Beacons try to stay with it. They're able to keep it in. Shantz tries to throw it towards the net, but Huskies chip it back the other way. Here comes Maddie Young, loses possession. Seems like both teams having trouble with maintaining possession of the puck through the neutral zone in this first period, as now the Beacons look to break out. Here comes Reifler. Puck goes a little bit too far ahead of her. That's chipped back the other way. With speed is Stewart, working on the near side wing. Stewart takes it behind the net. Serpentine goes to the far side. Back to Stewart. Stewart shoots. Didn't get a lot on it. Don't think it ever got through. It hit skates in front. And that one's chipped up the far side. Hansen couldn't get it out. And that's going to be no call on that one. It looked like for sure that was a trip. But
wow.
No, the officials' arms will stay down.
Wow. We both thought the same thing. And I looked at both referees. Neither one of them flinched. So we'll carry on.
Yeah, the Beacons will take that with open arms as they're having trouble getting the puck out once again. That one's sent back into the near side corner here. Webster plays it to the far side. Cramp tries to play it up, not out. Jason tries to send it back in. And that one's shot out of play by Stewart, and a face-off will be in the neutral zone.
And you see UMass kind of got pinned there on the shift, and they do have a tendency when they, not that they panic, but when they feel the pressure, they tend to just kind of send the puck to an area, and that's something we've seen all this period. Rather than kind of understanding where the pressure is coming from, where my release would be, it's more of trying to get it to a spot where I think we can win, and that can be a recipe for disaster, especially with the Southern Maine team who's done a good job forechecking.
3-on-2 opportunity the other way, but the puck just wouldn't sit flat for Crepaldi. Now a puck goes in front. That one almost chipped home by Hensington Brown. And that shot goes just wide on the blocker's side. So the Beacons, a couple good chips in a row here. Is that one thrown towards the net? Sticked away by McKim, now behind the net. Gustafson with it. Gets it out to Giuliano. She throws one towards the goal, goes wide. Thompson collects behind the net. Now it's on the far side corner. Collision there as the Huskies get possession. Now back the other way comes Crowley. Crowley working on the near side wing. Drives towards the goal. Hits the apron. Stays with it though. Gets it out to the point to Tabor. Tabor back to Crowley. Crowley now out at the top. She throws one towards the goal. Hits a body in front and bounces to that far side corner. Gustafson there looking to headman it, and she'll chip it off the boards. No icing, and the Beacons will get a full change here as that one flipped to the near side but sent around the boards by Wilbert. Comes back out to center. And that one gets chipped in, but there to collect it is Young for the Huskies as puck being battled for. Beacons jump on it. Chance for Wilbert. Throws one towards goal. Nice save by McKim, and she paddles that to the corner.
Came out on that angle nicely. Didn't have much to shoot at there.
McKim has been sharp so far here in the first period. As we enter the final 5, which is brought to you by McCourt Construction. Today's broadcast as the Beacons looking to maintain their forecheck as that one comes out to Kozic, and the puck would not sit flat for her, and it kind of fungoed up in the air. Now another centering pass. Puck still loose, and a nice job again by Haley McKim to find it and freeze it for a whistle with 3:52 to go in this first period.
Back-to-back good shifts for the Beacons there. It started with the third line, generated some offense. A few times now in this period we've seen that third line be able to construct some offense on their own, and then the Beacons follow it up with another good shift. Their top line mirrors it to final 5 here, as you mentioned, Beacon starting to see some offense, starting to possess the puck a little bit.
Hanson able to win the draw, but a chance the other way is going to the net. Shot on goal, off the post. May have hit the crossbar, the bend in the pipe on the right side. That was Sidney Chason with a golden opportunity.
Little wedge shot up and over the goaltender, you're right. Hit the post, maybe where it meets the crossbar.
That one thrown towards the goal by St. Amant doesn't get through. Seen a lot of that as well in this first period. Shots from the point that are not getting through. A lot of bodies in front as that one's tied up in the corner. Coming out with it is Hanson. She plays it towards the middle. St. Amant able to keep it in. Crowley gets there fresh off the bench. Loses an edge. Gets back up and stays with it. Throw to the corner. Now back out to St. Amant at the point. Goes D to McLean. McLean's shot gets blocked. And that one's chipped off the stanchion. Not out, but it eventually does back to center. But the Huskies maintain possession. St. Amant will send that one in around the kick plate, and she'll go off for a change. As the puck now being battled for in the corner. Chipped around the net. Dangerous pass out in front. As comes back to center and flipped in by Thompson. Under 2:30 to go here in this first period. Still no score. Beacons out shooting the Huskies 6-5. As that one's wheeled towards the goal there by Chagnon, and a nice job by Kennedy to smother it for a whistle.
Well, UMass had to put a couple shifts together, and then Southern Maine responds with 2 good shifts of their own. Really possessing. I'm impressed with the way that in the offensive zone, they seem to find the open player consistently. And you can see, you mentioned finding the blue line seems to be open. Now, the Beacons are doing a good job blocking those shots, but I think they've got to be a little bit stronger and not making it so easy for Southern Maine to move that puck around in the offensive zone.
So that one goes in behind the net. Back to collect is Caroline Thompson. Lays it up, or tried to play it up the half wall. Centering pass. That one gets sticked away by Colbert. And that one goes into the main bench. So the whistle and the face-off will come back into the Southern Maine zone with 1:50 to go in the first period.
And that's important, right? So that'll be an in-zone draw. Now, if you're UMass, you want to put your best center here. You can kind of sneak away with this period. If you can generate some offense, maybe get a goal here, go into the room with a lead, boy, that would really feel good after Southern Maine really has done a good job in terms of possessing the puck this period.
Well, Wilbert was able to win the face-off, but once again, this Southern Maine team has been relentless, establishing possession, jumped right on it. As this one comes back to center, Wilbert plays it off the skate of Kozic, but she's able to collect it. Plays it off the boards, and jumping right on it is stymies for the Huskies, as going hard to the ice there was Hanson, and she'll head off. McLean chips it up the boards. Having trouble with it there was Chason. Now that one's tried to get sent in. That puck explodes off of the stick of Kozic, and she had space to work with. As we approach 1 minute here left in the first period. Sent back in. Giuliano reverses it. Crowley able to keep it in. Hanson plays that one towards the middle. Gives it away to Chagnon. Chagnon banks out off the boards, tries to chip and chase. As Giuliano tries to play it out, comes right back to her. Final 30 seconds. That one's chipped in. Back to chases Giuliano. Played up the near side. Hanson looking for one final rush with speed through the neutral zone. Fires one towards goal into the knee pads. The puck comes out loose, and going hard to the ice there was Liz Cramp. Looked like she got tripped up. So the officials letting them play in this first period as it comes to an end with no score.
Yeah, overall fairly even. I think both teams had some opportunities there. Both goaltenders had to come up with some big saves in order to keep it scoreless. The one thing for me that I think UMass needs to address in the intermission right now is the fact that they're just being a little bit lackadaisical with the puck. And The thing that I find funny, you work so hard to get the puck, you got to know once you get it what you're going to do with it, or at least have an idea. I saw too many times in that period UMass just kind of throwing it, again, to a spot, to an area where they think they have support, or where they think a player might be. It's creating too many turnovers. And I think that's going to come back to bite them. I think the Southern Maine team is recognizing that. They're putting a lot of pressure on the forecheck, trying to create those turnovers, generate opportunities of their own. If you're Southern Maine, you have to be pretty happy. You're on the road. That was a pretty solid first period. Generated 8 shots on goal. It seemed like your offense is clicking. You didn't sacrifice too much on the defensive side. So I like what I saw from Southern Maine. I think UMass, if they can just be a little bit more critical with their puck possession, try to generate some more opportunities, maybe schematics, try to generate some plays that are in the playbook they can run. They had some offense there, but I think they can get more if they're just a little bit better with their puck possession.
Saves a piece
Well,
on goal for
after
both
one
teams.
period of
You
play,
see
no score here from
save.
Edward T. Berry Ice Rink on the campus of UMass Boston. You're watching the Beacons Broadcast Network, brought to you by LittleEast.tv. We'll step aside here for a quick break, and we'll be right back to recap the first period and look at some stats.
A good citizen is someone who wants to make a positive impact, both in their communities and in the world around them. The Division III approach is absolutely the best approach out there for amateur sport because it wants student athletes to explore
And welcome back
all
here
parts
from
of who
Edward
they
T.
are.
Berry
Be
Ice Rink at the
successful
end
in
of
the
one
class.
period. It's the University of Southern Maine 0, the UMass Boston Beacons 0. As we look at some statistics from our first period, It was the Huskies leading in the shot department, 8-6. Beacons have 8 saves to the Huskies 6. Obviously, that correlating with the shots on goal. Face-offs 7-5. The Beacons leading in that category, strong on the face-off. And power plays 0 for 1. The Huskies had the power play, but we did see them have their chances. They were able to move the puck well on that. And the penalties, 1 for the Beacons, 0 for the Huskies. As we'll step aside here once again on the Beacons Broadcast Network, and we'll be back for second period action shortly.
Proportion to me is the lived experience of our Division III student athletes. They balance life from an academic perspective and the rigors of competing at a high level, bonding with teammates and building lifelong friendships. But they also are involved in their communities. They work jobs and internships and volunteer. They've learned to be resilient. Diverse experiences are setting them up for the future.
Passion's love.
Proportion to me is the lived experience of our Division III student athletes. They balance life from an academic perspective and the rigors of competing at a high level, bonding with teammates and building lifelong friendships. But they also are involved in their communities. They work jobs and internships and volunteer. They've learned to be resilient. Diverse experiences are setting them up for the future.
The 5-campus UMass system is the university that educates the workforce of Massachusetts. We recognize that we are truly here for a reason, and that recognition inspires us and drives us every single day.
Responsibility is being accountable for your words and actions, first and foremost. It also is an obligation to be a positive influence in the communities around you. Being in a D3 program, you're going to have lots of different opportunities. You're not just an athlete, you're also involved in student life. Your academics are extremely important. We give a lot of our student athletes responsibilities right from the start by giving them leadership opportunities, by having them engage in the community, be a positive influence. That's being a responsible person.
I believe sportsmanship is a mutual admiration and respect for your fellow competitors. We all go through a lot to reach the point where we compete against one another. It's important to realize that. So once we're finally on the field or on the court or on the starting block, we look at each other as fellow human beings and not just competitors. Being able to recognize the hard work that other athletes are putting in creates a more positive and inclusive environment.
Comprehensive learning is being able to adapt to experiences and apply the things that I learned. Being an athlete and juggling academics helped me grow as a person, and things that I've learned, I was able to apply it in another field, putting them into everyday life. Developing comprehensive learning helped me prioritize certain things to make sure I get to where I want to be.
Paris changed my life, and I got there through UMass. Those very specific seminal moments in Paris, the subway. A man in a tuxedo walked in, and a woman in a long gown. And it was stunning. It all hit me. It was like a lightning bolt. There was this world of beauty and style that I wanted to be a part of. That was the beginning of the journey. And that all came through the University of Massachusetts. And that was really a key moment for me. That's one of those moments you never forget.
The University of Massachusetts Boston. It's just minutes from downtown, and the Princeton Review calls it one of the best values in the country. A nationally recognized institution of academic excellence and research, UMass Boston offers more than 150 undergraduate and graduate programs, 16 Division III sports, and more than 100 student organizations. To learn more about the opportunities waiting for you at UMass Boston, visit in person or online. UMass Boston, a research university with a teaching soul.
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins. Not the shiny, nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
Something I discovered in myself is that if I have a goal, and I can accomplish it.
It's a well-rounded experience.
At a Division III school, you primarily a student athlete, so the school is really shaped around you developing yourself as a complete individual.
It helps a lot that you have a family with your team that can guide you.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that, and it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school, it's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
I'm the first undergraduate alumnus to lead this university. I'm very proud of that. I was literally able to transform my life because of the University of Massachusetts, and I want that for every single student that walks through the door.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
Cheer for the stumbles. The he shoulda had that's. And the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There, you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
And welcome back here inside Edward T. Berry Ice Rink. It is the University of Southern Maine Huskies and the UMass Boston Beacons tied at 0 as we head into the second period here on the Beacons Broadcast Network. Andrew Bluestein alongside Matt Meisenbacher. Well, a little bit of a sloppy first period on both sides, Meisey, but what are you looking for from both teams here going into this second period?
I think if you're Southern Maine, more of the same, right? We talked about this. You have to be pretty happy with what you saw there. Again, you're on the road. You have a shorter roster, 0-0, and you generated some opportunities. I mean, that rush we showed on the replay, that puck doesn't land right next to Kennedy, and she's able to get that under her glove. Who knows what happens, right? So you can easily have a lead there. I think if you're UMass, there were some good things that happened. You had some good shifts that you were able to put together and combine. Weren't able to generate any scoring off of it, but it was there, right? So you have something to build off of. The thing that concerns me with UMass is I don't think the passing was nearly good enough. I'm seeing far too many indirects, far too many zone passes, kind of what we call hope passes, and that's just not going to be a recipe for a win here today. I think they need to be a little bit crisper with their passes. Know when, if I get the puck, almost like a baseball player, right? If it's hit to me, what am I doing with it? Similar concept for these girls. If I get the puck, where am I going? And if that's not an option, what's my B, what's my C option? More of that and not just a panic toss, which we saw a little bit too much of there in that first period.
Well, both teams lined up here as we're set to drop the puck for second period action. As the Beacons will be going right to left across your screen. And they'll send their top line out. Third line out there for the Huskies. And we're underway for second period action. It's a stalemate off the draw. And Wilbert's able to chip it towards the far side boards. Crowley tries to send that one in around, but nice job by Shantz to stay with it. Shantz goes behind her net, chips it up the kick blade. That one comes back to the neutral zone and all the way back into the Huskies' end on this frictionless ice surface as McLean behind the net goes D to Thompson. She plays up the wall, giveaway, shot on goal. Nice blocker save there by McKim. It was Kozic who threw that one towards the goal. A leading point getter for the Beacons at the beginning of this season.
Good save indeed. That might have been off the shaft. Sounded like it.
Nice drive to the net and another shot. A nice save by Kennedy. As a nice job there by Chagnon going hard to the net. Back the other way as McDougall tried to chip it past the defenseman, but it was sent back up to the neutral zone. Now another chance. Here comes Hansen. Hansen trying to get around Colbert, but Colbert holding her ground does a nice job. Now headmans the puck into the neutral zone. Back to collect is Giuliano. She banks it off the half wall. Hansen again with speed. This time tries to beat Thompson, but Thompson does a good job, wins that battle. This puck goes in on Kennedy, and she'll decide to freeze it for a whistle as somebody from Southern Maine was in the kitchen there with 18:30 left in the second period.
I don't think Kozic missed by much there. It sounded like maybe part of the blocker, part of the stick. She was trying to get it elevated enough, and maybe, I don't know, a couple more inches, we might have a 1-0 hockey game.
Hansen able to win that draw. Chipped around by Hensington Brown. Now on the far side, Hansen. That one's chipped by Dukas. Thrown towards the goal. Dukas got his stick on it. And once again, the Beacons having trouble getting the puck out of their own end. Now they finally do. Back the other way comes Cramp. Cramp does a nice job there. Runs into a wall, but Hansen stays with it. Had it just above the hash marks. Couldn't stay with it. As that one's sent back down into the Beacons' end. Back to get it is Butters. Butters plays it up to Cramp. Tried to send it up the ice the other way to Reifler, but she couldn't handle it. That one's sent in back around the kick blade. Back to get it is Cramp. Has some trouble with it. Now the other way. Here comes Hensington Brown. He gets stonewalled off there by McLean. That one's sent down the ice, and this will be an icing.
More of what we saw, I think, in the first period here so far in the second, and just two teams trying to find it. And there's been offense on both sides, but I don't think it's been sustained. There's been little blips, right? We saw the opportunity there from the Beacons early on in that period. Seemed like Southern Maine was close to generating something there with that shift, and now an end zone draw for UMass.
Rapaldi able to win the draw. Puck came out towards the point. Butters was able to keep it in, but that one's chipped into the neutral zone. Boyd gets her pocket picked as Chason goes to the net. Chason backhands one and kind of fanned on it. And a big collision there as she goes hard to the ice, able to get back up. Now another shot from the point, doesn't get through. And Kennedy was able to whack it, and the penalty coming up to the Beacons as a big collision. And it looks like it's going to be Margot Butters heading off.
Yeah, that's a pretty clear. She knew right away, too. She started heading to the box before the referee had even blown it. She knew He's going to get called. So an opportunity here for the Huskies. They'll get their second power play of the day. First one didn't generate too much, but this is not an area you want to live if you're UMass, giving this team too many opportunities. It seems as though if they can get the lead, they look strong defensively, it's going to be an uphill battle for UMass.
So Crowley with it on the far side, gets it down low to Chagnon. Chagnon out top to St. Amant. Back to Chagnon. Now coming in is Young to scoop that one up. Young takes it behind the net. Gets it to Crowley. Back to Young. Young out at the point for McLean. McLean back to Young. Now cross ice to St. Amant. Nice job by Kozic, but she couldn't get it out. As Young tries to play it to Chagnon, but it goes under her stick, but Huskies able to stay with it. Crowley out to the point. That shot got deflected in front perhaps, and Kennedy got her pad on it. Chagnon now circling in the corner. Gets it out top to St. Amant. Back to Chagnon on the far side. Half wall. Nice move. Cuts to the middle looking for Young in front. Hits a skate. That shot gets rifled and a nice positional save by Kennedy. Smothering that, no rebound on the chance by McLean.
And per usual, Kennedy looks confident in the crease. Her angle, she's trusting the angle that she's on, and no rebounds. And we've seen that throughout today. 12 shots on goal here. I really haven't seen too many second opportunities she's given up. It seems like she's tracking the first one well and either corralling it or getting to a spot where it's able to be cleared.
Beacon's able to win the draw. Puck tied up in the near side corner. Stewart gets it out top to Thompson. Back to Stewart. Puck trampolines off her stick. And the Beacon's able to clear. That was Maggio sending it the length of the rink. And a nice job by Cramp. Forechecking on the PK. Killing some more time. And
hand pass.
It's going to be a hand pass ruled here. As it looked like Cramp may have played that with her glove, but they got...
Yeah, I thought the same.
But the Beacons will take it... Take that as they have an offensive zone faceoff with 35 seconds left to go on the Huskies power play. They look to rush out the other way. Centering pass goes off the stick of Stewart. Thompson, nice move at the blue line, enters the zone. Working on the near side wing, driving towards the goal, takes it behind the net, stays with it. Gets it out top to Tabor. Tabor goes D to D. Stuymeist out at the point on the power play. That one gets sent the length of the rink once again by Maggio, as out to play it is McKim. McKim, nice pass, but it explodes off of Stuymeist's stick, and that will do it for the Huskies power play. So they're 0 for 2 now. Solid job by the Beacons penalty kill. As this puck in the corner, puck bounced off the stick of Chagnon, went towards her own net, but Huskies able to stay with it. Chagnon through center ice. Nice poke check there by Crepaldi, but she couldn't stay with it. Might have had a breakaway if she got that cleanly. But the Beacons will regroup. That pass explodes off the skates of Hensingson Brown, sent in to the near side corner. Now a chance the other way. Here comes Gustafson. Gustafson rifles one. And a nice glove save there by McKim, and no rebound for a whistle.
Well, let's see if UMass can build off that penalty kill. They've done a good job. Only a couple opportunities there for Southern Maine. They did a good job defending. Now, a lot of teams can use that as motivation to build something offensively here. See if they can do it.
So the top line back out there for the Beacons. And a nice move there by Chagnon. Now a breakaway opportunity, but the puck explodes off the stick in good speed from the defense by Shantz as Kennedy comes out of her crease to cover it for a whistle. So the face-off to the right of Victoria Kennedy. Wilbert able to win that draw. Puck comes out to the point. And McLean not able to keep it in. McDougall tried to chip that one in, but to no avail as the Huskies sent things back the other way. Puck being battled for on the half wall, back into the neutral zone now. Young back to collect it. Gets it to McLean. She couldn't handle that pass, but the Huskies able to stay with it as Solomons tried to bring it in, but the Huskies were offside with 13:10 to go in this second period.
Huskies continuing to make it difficult on the Beacons through the neutral zone and into their own zone. And you can see they're really just kind of stacking that blue line and forcing UMass to have to make a decision, either dump and go chase or try to stick handle around. And neither one is being successful right now. I think UMass has to recognize that, try to figure out, let's commit to one, as in my opinion, a dump and change, right? And start to get back to basics. A little bit of an opportunity here.
2-on-1 opportunity. Hansen throws one towards goal, trying to wrong foot McKim, but McKim stuck the pad out. Another tuck opportunity there. McKim holds the post and ties it up for a whistle. So another solid opportunity for the Beacons. But so far, it's been a goaltender's duel. Haley McKim doing a nice job there.
Yeah, she was called upon again. A good pad save. Was able to corral that rebound.
Hansen wins the draw. She's been very good from the faceoff dot here tonight. As puck tied up in the near side corner. Official urging them to move it along. Now it comes out loose. Cramp battling. Cramp stays with it with two players working against her. Now Hansen on the forecheck. Able to win the battle. That shot from the point by Butters, and another save by McKim, and no rebound for a whistle.
I like the way Cramp is playing here. She's generating, trying to create on her own. Knows we don't have a ton of offense today. We've got, ample shots on goal, but really not a lot of sustained pressure. And a few shifts now, I've seen her try to create and set something up for her teammates. Good win there off the draw.
Another shot right on the net. That one's gloved by McKim. That one kind of handcuffed her a little bit, but able to glove it with no rebound. So quick face off as another false start ruled by Frenette, the linesman. So we'll do it again. Crepaldi able to win it, but not hard enough. Now a breakaway chance the other way. Here comes McQuay, shot on net. 5-0, she scores! Madeline McQuay puts it home, and it's the Huskies who strike first.
I think that's unfortunate for Kennedy. She was on her angle. I think she just moved at the exact wrong time. It looked like that was going to be a save. And she tried to move close to her pad. I think she maybe thinking that was perhaps going to be a deke, not a shot. And it opened up the 5-hole just enough. I don't think McQuaish got all that. I really don't. I think it just happened to be Kennedy moved right where the puck was going. So a 1-0 lead for this Huskies team, and that's everything that they wanted. The way they defended here today, now playing from ahead, that's going to change. I would expect the way UMass has to be. I think they've got to be a little bit more aggressive now. Still plenty of hockey left, but obviously now that Southern Maine has opened up the scoring, you want to try to get back and tie this thing up as soon as possible.
So for Madeline McQuaish, that'll be her second of the season. Sophomore out of Dedham, Massachusetts. It was almost like a kind of a change-up on that breakaway. It fooled Kennedy.
It definitely looked that way. And we had a good vantage point from it, so I would think if we were to ask her, she would agree.
McKim comes way out of her net to play that puck. As the Huskies try to work it back up ice. Stepping in front of that, though, was Kozic. And now the Huskies finally do. Now Dukas jumps on it, tries to play it towards the goal. But nice job by Bunnington to step in front of that. Kozic battling on the far side. Puck comes out loose. Poke down low. As Thompson pinching in the defenseman. And that one goes into the far side corner. Kozic to collect, has space. Looking up ice. Gets it on the wing. Wilbert couldn't handle the puck as she was going towards goal. Now it rides the kick blade all the way to the far side. That one goes off the stick of St. Amant. Now another chance for the Huskies down the wing. Another shot and a save by Kennedy. And again, Huskies looking to go 5-hole, but that time Kennedy had the stick down in perfect position. As now the Huskies the other way. Here comes Hansen. Hansen with speed. Down the far side wing, tries to backhand it off the glass, but it goes right into the bench. As we'll take a look at the replay of that goal by the Huskies.
And you can take a look, UMass just gets caught. It's that simple. You get caught on one pass, and you can see as Kennedy moves from her right to left, her pads just open up slightly, and it was enough on it to get it 5-hole and in the net. But you can see, and that's something you never want to see if you're UMass, right? One pass beat everybody, and we all got caught on a single play. That's just lack of coverage.
Also a tough angle there on the breakaway, too. As most breakaways you see right down the middle, that one kind of came from the side.
You're exactly right.
As a goaltender, it's kind of hard to know where you are in your crease in a situation like that. As that one's chipped in, and it goes off Saint-Amant, who had not cleared the zone, so an offside, face off in the neutral zone with 10:07 to go.
Well, let's see how UMass responds here, Andrew. I think still obviously anyone's hockey game, 1-0, but I think that first goal, you can see the way this game has gone, it means a lot more than it might normally, right? Both teams kind of struggling for sustained offense. You see again, and those are just unforced errors. You've got UMass there on a mini 3-on-2, right? And not anything that's going to be overanalyzed, right, when they watch film later in the week. But you've got an opportunity there, and you back into your own bench, the rush is over, right? Little things like that, when you're having a tough time offensively, start to compound, and that's where when you hear people talk about, gripping the stick or overthinking it, that can really happen in a game that looks to have more of a defensive component to it than an offensive side.
And hockey is a game of bounces, but you have to put yourself in position to get some good bounces, and the Beacons just seemingly haven't been able to do that enough here this afternoon.
They're close. I would say that they haven't had enough sustained, right? They haven't had enough shifts on top of each other to warrant it. Here's a 2-on-1.
2-on-1 chance. Going to the net, centering pass, just out of the reach of Crepaldi as Hensingson Brown tried to center it, and Crepaldi not able to receive the pass cleanly. A little bit behind her, but Beacons right back on the attack. That one thrown towards the middle. Crepaldi a shot. That one gets blocked, I believe, off the skates of Colbert. As Colbert scoops it up, chips it up the ice as Dukas throws that one, and it will go in on Kennedy, so no icing, and she'll be forced to freeze it for a whistle with 9:01 to go in the second period.
Good opportunity for UMass there, again on a rush. A nice pass by Gustafson, and Capaldi tried to toe drag and get that shot off and just put it right into the defenseman's pads, shin pads. Tough when you're looking for some offense, to get that shot blocked from the slot is difficult.
Shantz chips that one out. A chance the other way. Wilbert is coming way out of her cage. There is McKim. And it worked. She's able to get the puck in the neutral zone as Wilbert would have had a breakaway. Giveaway though. Here comes Kosick. Shot, pad, save, McKim. She has been impressive.
Yeah, she's really looked strong. She's got a lot of confidence in the crease right now. You can see it in how far she came out on that passing play.
Dukas flips that one. It was going wide, but Kennedy takes a whistle to slow things down here. And looks like both teams will make a partial change. So the face-off to the left of Kennedy. Wilbert able to win the draw. Puck in the corner, and the Huskies jump on it. It's Chasen. Eagans try to get it out. They're able to. McDougall try to cut to the middle, and puck rolls off her stick. Now back the other way is Stewart. Stewart rifles one towards the goal. Saved by Kennedy. Trampolines off the chest protector. And Kozic tries to chip it out, but can't. Kozic able to find it the second time, and almost a 2-on-1 the other way, but not a lot of puck luck there for the Beacons. This one sent right back in. Stewart to collect it. Stewart centering pass, looking for Crowley, and I think it was Saint-Amant who actually disrupted that pass, the defenseman. As Huskies able to keep it in, send around into the corner. Maggio plays it up the far side half wall. That one gets chipped out by Raefler. Raefler with speed, working on St. Amant. Cramp to Raefler. Cramp back out to the point to Butters. Butters shoots. That one just goes wide on the blocker's side. As back the other way come the Huskies with speed. Here comes McCleish, the goal scorer. Throws another one towards goal, just misses. Kennedy may have got a piece of that. As
that was a rip.
Starting to see the pace pick up here a bit. Both teams going end to end as we're icing here with 6:45 to go in the second.
Yeah, that was a rip. I didn't miss by much. You might be right. Kennedy might have gotten a piece. I think it was McLeish who shot that one as well. She's got the goal earlier today, so she's got the hot hand. But definitely I agree in terms of pace. I think we've elevated on both sides a little bit and kicked it into maybe that third or fourth gear here.
Hansen wins another face-off as that one's chipped out by Cramp, and that will be another icing as it goes all the way down. So we'll do it again in the Beacons defensive zone.
And I don't think you have to change much if you're UMass. I mean, it's still a 1-0 hockey game. You're starting to see some offense. And keep in mind, we've mentioned it a few times today, but the small roster for Southern Maine, now will start to come into play as those shifts start to mount on top of themselves. Again, only playing with realistically 3 forward lines. This is now when it starts to take its toll. You've got 6:30 left here in the second period. You might want to consider perhaps double shifting your top lines if you see the right matchup, or you can get someone pinned on an icing, things like that. The coaching staff will start to be aware of.
You mentioned the short roster. I'm sure if the Beacons aren't able to tie it, the goal would be to keep it a 1-goal game going into the third period. As that puck being battled for on the far side. 4 players in there. Finally comes out loose as Hensingson Brown able to chip it out to center, comes to the near side of the neutral zone. That one gets flipped right back in by Thompson though. Young tries to maneuver at the blue line, can't keep it in, but it's sent back behind the net. Boyd with it in the far side corner, plays it off the glass. That one's gloved ahead by Hensingson Brown. Would have been a hand pass if the Beacons touched first, but they did not. Gustafson plays it to the far side. Crepaldi in a race there, but McLean's able to get there first. Gives it away though. Webster headmanning the puck into the zone. Fires on net. Stick save by McKim. Rebound came out momentarily there for McDougall, but she couldn't handle it. As Webster, nice stretch pass to Wilbert. Wilbert fires one towards the net, and that one again gloved by McKim, and she'll hold on for a whistle.
Well, we talked about how important it is to have the lead, and I think especially for Southern Maine in this instance, right, if you can get that second goal, really your only priority at that point becomes defense, right? You force UMass to get 2 in a period, which so far I haven't been able to find 1. And so this is why that next goal is so critical. You have moments in this hockey game that really can shift the paradigm. If Southern Maine can get a second one, it really becomes difficult for UMass. If UMass can score, watch the momentum shift their side, and they might be able to get a couple.
Going hard into the boards there was Gabby Shantz. Right back to her feet though. McDougall collects, chips it off the glass and out. Trying to swing Kozic, but nice job there by McLean staying with the puck. McLean now with it. Edita Tabor. Stepping in front of that pass though, as it'll be offsides. And Buddington had a chance there, but Beacons couldn't clear the zone.
Yeah, it was a good read. She was all over it. She saw that play developing from her own zone and was able to get that just slightly offsides.
So we're inside the 5 minutes, and again, this broadcast this afternoon brought to you by McCourt Construction. As the Beacons win that draw. Sending it to the far side, Maggio. Hansen able to chip it behind the net. Hansen stays with it. Working there with Cramp. Hansen able to get it out to the point. Maggio couldn't handle it. Puck bounced off her blade. But the Beacons stay with it. Hansen able to chip it in. But it goes right to St. Amant. Crowley now trying to chip it ahead through the neutral zone. Can't. Now comes to Thompson. Thompson enters the zone. Thompson down the middle. That shot goes wide on the stick side. Played up but not out. Crowley stays with it. Chips it off the boards. That one's played up by Giuliano. Can't get it out, but it comes right back to her. Opts to go to the far side, looking for Cramp. Cramp, who's battled hard here this afternoon. Able to battle again, getting it to the neutral zone. Hansen couldn't find it. Stepping up is Maggio. Cramp plays it back towards the middle, but right to Crowley. Hansen now battling with it. Goes back to Maggio. Maggio, cross ice to Hensingson Brown. She tries to cut to the middle, but gets closed off there by Thompson. Thompson now looking to move it up ice. Plays it off of Crowley. That one gets stick checked by Maggio, as now Crepaldi gives it away though. Crowley chips it off the boards. 2-on-1 opportunity. Crowley and McCleish. Crowley going to the goal, fires, and a great save there by Kennedy coming off her line. Great positioning, aggressive, and able to make the save.
She came so far out. I mean, just daring that shooter to try and go around her. And at that, being that far out of your crease, you're basically placing all your trust in your D, where if there's a pass, there's no way you're getting to that backside in time. Kennedy just saying, I dare you to shoot it or go around me. And you'd love to see a goaltender when you're coming out that far. Confidence is not an issue.
Very Tim Thomas-esque.
Yes,
there.
Absolutely.
As Huskies able to win the draw. McLeod battling in the corner. McLeod trying to work it to the point for Colbert. That one's sent back in around. Puck banks off the kick blade. Behind the net, Young wheels it in front. Good stick positioning there. Another opportunity. McLean throws out one towards goal. Another try by Colbert. She fans on it. But good attack here, pressured by the Huskies.
Here we go.
Finally, a 2-on-1 bid here. Wilbert has Kozic in the middle, and she couldn't handle the puck. Able to get it back. Rifles one towards goal, and that was going to go over the net. But McKim decides to glove it and slow things down for a whistle with 2:11 to go in the second period.
It seems like it's been a lot of that today for UMass. They get these opportunities, even there, 2-on-1, and then the puck just kind of jumps over Wilbert's stick. It fizzles out. They've had a lot of small opportunities and just haven't been able to take it from front to end and complete it. And that's why I think there's still a 0 on the board.
Shot attempt gets trampolined off of the pads of Chason. As now another bid, back the other way. McDougall waits, holds, shoots, blocker save by McKim. Puck bounces behind the net. Another centering pass, and another great save by McKim on the doorstep, robbing Wilbert.
We're seeing some great goaltending here from McKim, and that's a great blocker save on a 3-on-1. And UMass has definitely found something here with the way they're breaking out. They've made an adjustment. That's 2 rushes now within the last 30 seconds they've been able to generate. McKim has made 2 great saves. That blocker save on the 3-on-1 was outstanding, and then was able to get the rebound as well.
Beacons control again, off the half wall. Another centering pass by Reifler. Goes through the net mouth. Hansen now gloves that down. Tries to take it towards the hash mark. Stays with it. Gets it to Cramp. Cramp looking in front. Comes out to the point. Butters couldn't handle that pass, but she's able to corral it off the board. Sends it in behind the net. But it goes right to Thompson, and she's able to chip it out. But that one goes into the Beacons bench with 1:19 to go. And Miza, you mentioned perhaps seeing some double shifting here. And as again the top line comes out, it seems like we've seen a lot of that first and second line here recently in the second half of this second period.
We absolutely have a shortened bench for sure. And with a minute 19, an in-zone draw here, boy, if UMass can tie this up, here's an opportunity. Oh, boy, that could have been bad. Almost a 2-on-0 going back. But if you can find a way to tie up this hockey game.
Another opportunity, that shot. I think that got blocked by Buddington. Good effort there. And she's able to stay with it, looking to headman it up. Oh, Kozic could have had a breakaway, but St. Amant read that perfectly. Final minute, second period. As head coach for the Beacons, Danielle Blanchard, shortening the bench here perhaps. As once again, first and second line getting a lot of shifts inside a minute. As Wilbert disrupted that pass, but St. Amont's able to stay with it. She decides to just dump it in. That goes behind the net, banks off the apron of the goal. Final 25 of the second. Beacons trying to get one more rush. Puck comes to the far side. Big collision there in front of the bench. Wilbert went hard to the ice. She gets back up. And trying to enter there was Thompson, but they were offside with 10 seconds to go.
Yeah, Wilbert took a big hit. I'm surprised. She got right up. I give her credit. Tough gal. That was a big hit on the wall there.
She's laboring on the way back to her bench. As you can see her there, it looks to be okay.
I don't know if I could have absorbed that hit as well.
Hanson
6-2.
with a great effort in the final 10 seconds, won the faceoff, chipped it ahead, just couldn't create anything else after that, and that will do it for the second period, as it'll be the lone goal from Madeline McLeish for the Huskies that will send the Huskies to the room with the lead.
Yeah, all goaltending for Southern Maine. I mean, McKim has made some outstanding saves there, especially late in the second period. It looked like UMass has found something that they've been able to cultivate, and it seems like they're sending more forwards through the neutral zone on a slot, and basically telling D, we're going to send some people through, see if you can connect on a pass and get a rush, catch people on the forecheck, right? It's almost like a reversal, and it's working. The problem is McKim has made some really good saves down the other side. So if you're UMass, I think you found something that works here. You want to continue with that. Try to not to ignore the scoreboard, obviously, but get that to the back of your head and focus on the things that you're doing well. Because I think for the second half of that period, it looked like UMass was starting to generate some consistent offense. If you're Southern Maine, you've come this far. You've got a 1-0 lead on the road after 2. Your goaltender is playing outstanding. I think you just got to really try to focus in on defense. Can't go into a shell. You don't want to just, play in your zone the entire period. But I think you've got to make sure everyone knows their assignments. And just to what UMass is doing, there were a couple opportunities there where they were in on a rush. Maybe recognize that as a decor and say, hey, let's make sure we've got 2 back, not give up any odd man rushes on top of our goaltender.
And we mentioned making sure they keep the lead for the Huskies to 1, and they did that and put their foot on the gas at the end of that period. And as we head to the second intermission, it is the University of Southern Maine Huskies leading the UMass Boston Beacons by a score of 1-0. We're going to step aside for a quick break, and we'll be right back with the scoring summary and second period stats.
What separates UMass Boston from other schools is the fact that a large percentage of students commute. For me, it takes 2 hours each day to go to and from school, but every second has been worth it because the students that come here are serious about learning, they value their education, and understand where it'll take them in the future. This is what UMass Boston means to me.
Moving from Turkey, it was a rough journey for me because when you don't really speak the language that well and when you don't really fit in the crowd, it's very easy to disappear. But I decided not to give up, and UMass helped me.
UMass Boston was my first choice because when I came to the campus, I saw that there was a lot of diversity. There's a lot of people. Here there is a lot of international students, so it's really cool to meet people from different countries, different parts of the world. I'm Julia Murphy. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
I'm Olivia Murphy. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
We're sisters.
We're sisters.
I play volleyball and she plays basketball. Here they have a freshman success community. So each major has their own community that you can join as a freshman, and you take classes with them, you do study groups with them. So it was really helpful getting to know people in your major right away.
So in health exercise sciences, we have an internship at the end, so it's so much better to have like an advisor helping you out, like telling you which classes to choose.
People at UMass Boston, they're here because they know they can have an impact, not just on research, but on people, on their students.
This is just the starting point. It only has potential to grow, and it has a big potential to grow up.
You're really having a direct impact on people's lives, and you can see that now, and you can see that years from now.
So I think it's becoming like the place that people want to go. What UMass Boston is able to offer to its young people certainly stands out to that mission.
that was set right out in the beginning. It's something UMass Boston should be and can be very proud about.
Proportion to me is the lived experience of our Division III student athletes. They balance life from an academic perspective and the rigors of competing at a high level, bonding with teammates and building lifelong friendships. But they also are involved in their communities. They work jobs and internships and volunteer. They've learned to be resilient. Diverse experiences are setting them up for the future.
The 5-campus UMass system is the university that educates the workforce of Massachusetts. We recognize that we are truly here for a reason. And that recognition inspires us and drives us every single day.
Responsibility is being accountable for your words and actions, first and foremost. It also is an obligation to be a positive influence in the communities around you. Being in a D3 program, you're going to have lots of different opportunities. You're not just an athlete, you're also involved in student life. Your academics are extremely important. We give a lot of our student athletes responsibilities right from the start by giving them leadership opportunities, by having them engage in the community, be a positive influence. That's being a responsible person.
I believe sportsmanship is a mutual admiration and respect for your fellow competitors. We all go through a lot to reach the point where we compete against one another. It's important to realize that. So once we're finally on the field or on the court or on the starting block, we look at each other as fellow human beings and not just competitors. Being able to recognize the hard work that other athletes are putting in creates a more positive and inclusive environment.
Comprehensive learning is being able to adapt to experiences and apply the things that I learned. Being an athlete and juggling academics helped me grow as a person, and things that I've learned, I was able to apply it in another field, putting them into everyday life. Developing comprehensive learning helped me prioritize certain things to make sure I get to where I want to be.
Paris changed my life, and I got there through UMass. Those very specific seminal moments in Paris, the subway. A man in a tuxedo walked in, and a woman in a long gown. And it was stunning. It all hit me. It was like a lightning bolt. There was this world of beauty and style that I wanted to be a part of. That was the beginning of the journey. And that all came through the University of Massachusetts. And that was really a key moment for me. That's one of those moments you never forget.
The University of Massachusetts Boston. It's just minutes from downtown, and the Princeton Review calls it one of the best values in the country. A nationally recognized institution of academic excellence and research, UMass Boston offers more than 150 undergraduate and graduate programs, 16 Division III sports, and more than 100 student organizations. To learn more about the opportunities waiting for you at UMass Boston, visit in person or online. UMass Boston, a research university with a teaching soul.
And welcome back inside Edward T. Berry Ice Rink, and during the second intermission here, it is the University of Southern Maine Huskies leading the UMass Boston Beacons 1-0. As we look at the scoring summary, it's Southern Maine's goal coming from Madeline McCleish, her second goal of the season. It was on a partial breakaway that beat Kennedy 5-hole, and that's where we stand now going into the third. And now we'll look at second period statistics. As you can see, the shots pretty even. Huskies have the favor, 19-18. Both goaltenders with 18 saves. Says so far they have been awesome. Haley McKim in particular really getting confident in that second period. Face-offs favoring the Beacons, 23 of 19. We've seen Emily Hansen do a real good job of that for the Beacons. Second line center has been stupendous on the in the face-off circle. Beacons still have yet to generate a power play, and like to see them maybe try to draw a penalty in the third period, get an opportunity there. And the Huskies have not scored, 0 for 2, and there you see 2 penalties for 4 minutes totaling for the Beacons, and the Huskies have yet to be penalized. And with that, we'll send things back to break, and we'll be back in about 6 minutes here for third period action.
UMass Boston men's ice hockey, a tough home matchup against Norwich University this past weekend. And early on, Corey Clifton looks to get the scoring started there against Drennan Atherton. His shot would go just wide. And then on the other end, Sam Best with a nice save against the Norwich offense keeps the game all knotted up at 0. And then Jazz Kritzoff, who's had a great start to his young Beacon career, is going to take this drag pass back on the right side, firing on Atherton. And that shot is stopped. Sam Best will move over to the second period now. In transition, Norwich looking to score. The Cadets, though, cannot get by Best, who makes a nice diving save. Score remains tied at 0. But then Grady Freeman, his third goal of the season, third in 4 games, would get the scoring started for the Beacons here as Mike Manzo hits him with a pass. And somehow the puck gets right by Atherton, and the Beacons take a 1-0 lead about halfway through the second period of this game. And then Alex Duncan would have a chance to extend the Beacon lead in this transition play right here on the right side. Cannot quite feed it past Atherton, who makes a nice diving save at the stick there to push it just wide. Cole Bankowskis there in the third period on a breakaway opportunity. Again, Atherton denies him. That would be critical because later on the Beacons would end up giving a goal back here, but Pat Keegan would have a scoring opportunity just before that, and his shot just going wide, and then the redirect nearly goes in. Owen Bordeaux with a third period scoring chance here on a 2-on-2 situation, slaps it on Atherton, who makes the stop. And then there's the game-tying goal right there. Johnny Johnson gets his first goal of the season on the assist from Antero and Poorman, and the Norwich Cadets are in this game again. It's all tied up at 1 apiece about halfway through the third period now. So the Beacons need an answer fast, as this is a Norwich team that came into this game coming off of a 3-2 comeback win just a night before. And Norwich would continue to threaten, but Sam Best standing strong in net. Another nice save there with about 4:40 to go in the game. But then the Cadets would get the dagger as Clark Kerner, their lead scorer, scores his 4th goal of the season with just over 3 minutes to go. And the Beacons would end up dropping this one by a final score of 2-1. They will hit the road for their first road trip of the season with 2 NEHC matchups against Babson College on Friday night at 7 o'clock p.m. before hitting the road to go to University of Southern Maine for a 4 p.m. matchup on Saturday.
Welcome back inside Edward T. Berry Ice Rink on the campus of UMass Boston. Third period action just about to get underway here as it's the University of Southern Maine Huskies leading the UMass Boston Beacons going into this third period. Andrew Bluestein alongside Matt Meisenbacher here with you on the Beacons Broadcast Network, brought to you by LittleEast.tv. And Meisey, we talked about it. Beacons had a strong finish to that second period. Still no goals to show for it, but what do they have to do here to keep their foot on the gas in the third?
Well, you've got nothing to keep in the tank, right? The last period of the weekend, you're only down one here. You've played well. It's not like they're completely outmatched here and, you know, they've got nothing to build off of. I thought the end of that second period was strong and something that they should feel confident about coming into this period. Now, obviously, the problem they're faced is they're running into a pretty hot goaltender. And McKim made some really good saves there. Her rebound control, she's very aggressive. We were saying off air, she's listed at 5'8". She plays bigger than that in the net. I would say almost 6 foot plus the way she approaches her angles and her aggressiveness. So I think you've got to solve that. And typically when you've got a goaltender that's hot like that, you got to get some traffic in front. A redirect or a screen is typically how you can beat them.
And we're underway here for third period action. Beacons control things off the face-off as the puck comes in front of the main bench. Back the other way, though. Here comes Chagnon, leaves it off. Shot on goal, saved by Kennedy. Rebound, one goes out. Another shot on net, and they score. Jess McLean from the point. Kennedy may have been screened in front, but not the start the Beacons wanted, as just 29 seconds in to this third period. The Beacons are down 2.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think Kennedy saw this puck, and if she did, it was already too late. And that can happen sometimes on a rebound. You're scrambling, you're trying to find that puck through skates and pads. And I don't think she got a good read off of that. It looked like she might have seen it at the last second. Either way, 2-0 Huskies.
So Huskies will now have to climb, or excuse me, the Beacons will now have to climb up the hill here as they're down by 2. Although I guess you'd rather that goal come early in the third rather than later when no goals on the board.
Well, and this really opens up the door offensively for UMass, right? So now you're down 2. You can be as aggressive as you want. The difference between a 2-goal lead and a 3-goal lead at this stage isn't too much. I think you've got to find a way to get that 0 off the board as quickly as possible and go from there.
Here comes Dukas back the other way. Huskies offside as ahead of the play. As we'll take a look at the replay here from that goal by McLean, which is her first goal of the season, first point of the season as well.
And you see that first shot, that rebound just comes out far enough where you would hope a Beacon can get a stick on that and get it away from where the defense is coming in to corral and get a shot. They weren't able to do that, and I agree. Based on that replay, I just think Kennedy either only saw at best partial, maybe not, didn't see it at all.
Yeah, it looked like one of her own defensemen in the way there. And this will be an icing. And as many times goalies will say, if you're going to block the shot, block it. If you're going to attempt to it, don't not get out of the way. Let me see it.
That's right. It's one or the other there. And it's tough, right? Because everyone's scrambling, not just the goaltender, the D are trying to get back in position there. And it's difficult, but you're exactly right. Any goaltender will tell you, if you're going to get in my way, you better block it because you're going to take away my line of sight.
Huskies looking to start a forecheck, but they turn it over. Kensington Brown couldn't handle that. Sent in back by Colbert. Butters looking to headman it. Chips it up the boards, turns it over though. Stewart, centering pass. Looking for Chase on in front. Couldn't get enough wood on it though. Now it goes back down low. That one's knocked down by Crepaldi. Crepaldi trying to work with it at center ice. But Stymie jumps on it. Nice job by Hensington Brown on the back check though. Puck now in the official circle. Comes out loose. Stretch pass as Kozic was heading the other way, but once again, defenseman reading these stretch passes very well for the Huskies as Beacons have attempted a lot of those tonight, just haven't been able to get behind the defense.
You're exactly right. Definitely a topic of discussion if I had to guess.
And another goal in front. That one gets chipped home. And I believe that was McQuaish again. And indeed it was. So she now has 2 on the afternoon, and that gives the Huskies a 3-0 lead.
That's difficult. That's just a bad bounce there from behind the net. And I think, I'm not really sure if that was a pass. It might have just been something trying to get the puck to the front of the net. It's one of those as a forward where sometimes you just try to get it as close as you can to a proximity where someone can come in and bang it home, and it goes off the defense and through Kennedy's 5-hole, and a 3-0 lead for the Huskies.
Back the other way though. Raefler tries to go to the net, gets tripped up. No call. Looked like she got tripped up going to the net there, but the official's arms stay down. And that's about the 3rd or 4th time tonight here where there was an obvious trip and the officials opt not to call anything.
Letting them play.
And we mentioned in the intermission, the Beacons still have not had a power play yet in this game.
Yeah, you're right. They're due. They've got a player with a busted skate.
That one thrown towards the goal, gloved down by McKim, but it popped out. Beacons can't control the rebound, though, as back the other way come the Huskies. Chagnon enters, waits, nice move. Forehand to backhand, tried to get around Buddington, but Buddington held her ground there. Shantz skating it through the neutral zone, dumps it in at the red line. Puck slowly rides the kick blade. Young back to collect. Young with space out of her own end through center ice. Takes it in, flips it. Back to get it is Hensingson Brown. Tries to play it up the near side half wall. Hits a body. Maggio plays it back behind to Giuliano. Another 2-on-1 opportunity down low. That one thrown on goal. And it got shouldered away by Kennedy, who was hugging the post. As now Maggio looks to restart behind her own net. Tried to play it to Crepaldi. Maggio with it. Huskies making a change. That one gets chipped in by Gustafson. Huskies come out with it. Stewart takes it through center ice. Now skates it into the Beacons' end. Leaving it off there for Chason. Now chipped behind the net. Stymies leaves it for Stewart. Stewart cycles it down low for Stymies. Stymies banks it off to the apron of the goal, and it comes off its pegs for a whistle. As we'll take a look at the 3rd goal here for the Huskies.
McLeish, and like we talked about, just kind of throwing that towards the front of the net. And oftentimes as a forward, if you see you've got help in the front, right, you don't have to necessarily put it right on the tape. Just get it somewhere where something good might happen. And in this case, the best outcome possible, it somehow ricochets past the goaltender and in for McLeish's 2nd of the day.
Yeah, still not sure if that went off of Stewart in front. Perhaps maybe Butters. It hit something and went in.
Yeah, definitely.
As Kozic tried to trip it in, couldn't. And Butters gets the 2nd opportunity. Wilbert riding St. Amant to the boards. Puck comes out of the point. Butters fires one towards goal, deflected by Wilbert, but it goes out the other side. That one's chipped off the glass by McDougall behind the net. Wilbert had a little trouble with it. Stewart able to jump on it. Stretch pass to the far side to Chason. Butters able to win that battle. Sends it up through the neutral zone, but right onto the stick of Thompson, who sends it back the other way. Kennedy coming out of her net. Fires that one off the half boards. That one's thrown right back in on goal, and nobody in the area, so Kennedy plays the puck. Now Reifler with speed the other way, working on the far side. Nice move, stays with it, now goes behind the net. Puck rolls off her stick in the corner. Reifler able to send it back behind the net, but that goes right to Tabor. Webster shot deflected in front, and another nice save by McKim. Out at the top of her crease. Hansen tries to get it in front, nobody there. Webster, another drive, deflects, doesn't get through. That one played back the other way.
Beacons haven't given up yet. A couple good shifts here. Able to get some of this offense going. You might find your way to find an opportunity to claw back into this game.
Under 13 minutes now to go. Now back the other way comes Crowley. That'll go behind the net. Webster to collect. Giuliano tries to play it through the middle. That one gets chipped in by Dukas. Giuliano tries to play it up the boards. And a turnover by Crepaldi. Young tries to throw it towards the goal, and that'll go off the roof for a whistle, and the faceoff will stay in the Beacons' defensive end.
One of the things I've seen throughout today's game is when the Beacons are having success in the offensive zone, they're supporting each other. They're a unit, and it's not one person in. It's at least two, sometimes three people in and around where the puck is located, and that's really what you try to draw up at any level is supporting the puck. When they've really struggled is when they only have one player going in, and it's very easy for Southern Maine to counter that and come out of the zone. So I think if they want to come back in this hockey game, they've got to find ways to get that puck deep and get at least two forwards on top of it, maybe a third lingering around, try to create something within that quarter of the ice.
Now under 12 minutes in this third period, so time not on the side of things for the Beacons. And that will go down for an icing, but if you get one here, I would say at least before the 8-minute mark, never know what can happen.
You've got a chance, I would agree. The clock has become a major issue now. You're close to halfway through. You've really got to find something quick, and I think the best way for them to do it, those stretch passes were working for a little while, but they're not there anymore. Southern Maine has countered and is clearly wise to what they've been trying to do, so I think you've got to try to find a way to enter the zone with speed and try to connect on a pass or two.
Kozic has McDougall go to the net, and she couldn't center it. Nice defensive play by Caroline Thompson with her stick disrupting it. End to end they go, back the other way. Stewart centers it. Nice save by Kennedy going from her right to her left. Will glove it, kind of a knuckler there, and she's able to hold it for a whistle.
See on that 2-on-1, kind of a microcosm of the way the Beacons have gone today. A 2-on-1, close to a scoring chance, and just swatted away at the last minute, nothing to come of it.
Beacons have had their opportunities. It was just been a matter of being able to extend those opportunities, which they have not been able to do here this afternoon. As Butters now collects the puck, plays it up, goes past. Here comes Cramp. And out of her net to play it is McKim, who has been stellar all night long. Hansen takes it to goal, still loose in front, and McKim's able to find it. And great individual effort there by Emily Hansen, who took the puck from behind the net to the front and able to force a chance, but once again, McKim shuts the door.
She's been strong and has looked very confident in every move she's made. Every stop she's made seems to be exactly the way she's thinking about it in her head, and that's a goaltender that can be tough to beat.
That one goes in front. Cramp was there, couldn't find another shot. Rebound opportunity, and another great save by McKim, robbing Reifler. Reifler has a little bit of a skirmish here after the whistle. Didn't look like Reifler got as much as she wanted to on that shot, but still had plenty of time, and once again, McKim making a great save.
Yeah, she's been all over. We're going to get a couple penalties here. I think coincidentals. It looks like Cramp and Tabor are going to sit for a little extra stuff in front of the net, but you're exactly right. McKim and just more of the same, right? Not just the first stop, but the second one. She seems to be very control of her crease. She's skating laterally very, very well, making it difficult. And again, what we talked about at the start of the third, I think if you're going to beat a goaltender that's dialed in like this, you've got to, and the Beacons are starting to do it, you got to try to find ways to get in front of the net, take the eyes away, maybe get a deflection, get a bounce. And like you said, running a little bit short on time. They really need to get one here. They'll be skating 4-on-4, so a little bit more ice, but you got to try to find and get one now.
As you mentioned, plenty of space out there, 4-on-4. Young stays with it. Try to pull it backhand to forehand rather, and couldn't stay with it. McLean, who has the second goal for the Huskies, sends it in, but it goes back the other way, and this will be an icing with 10:08 to go. And something I wanted to do earlier, which I haven't had a chance to yet, I wanted to give Richard Zanetti a shout out. He's wearing one of those old school CCM buckets, which you never see anymore.
You're right. What year is that?
I don't know, but they were wearing those back in 1980. The U.S. men's The Miracle on Ice team was wearing those, so
yeah,
that's a throwback for sure.
That's definitely 80s. That might even be 70s. I don't know. I'll have to ask him.
That puck comes back to the center in the neutral zone as that one's chipped back in.
You mentioned Eruzione earlier. He probably had one of those.
Absolutely.
It's good to see. Tradition.
Tradition indeed, as that one chipped back in. Plenty of space the other way. Here comes Chagnon. Waits, holds, shoots. Nice job positionally there by Boyd, blocking that shot. Now under a minute left on the 4-on-4. Back the other way. Here comes Emily Hansen. Hansen behind the net. Stays with it. Tries to get it to Maggio. Maggio just a little bit too far, pinching in. And Kennedy decides to play it back up the ice. Now here comes McDougall on the far side. Tried to maneuver towards the middle, but a good defensive play by Thompson.
It's kind of interesting. Throughout the game, I noticed Kennedy not one to really play the puck. She seems to be covering it if she gets the opportunity, but a few times now she's come out and made a couple good plays. I wonder, might be something the coaching staff wants to talk to her about. I've always been an advocate if goaltenders can help push that pace of play down the other side, more power to you, especially if you can put it on the tape. And you saw there, Kennedy with a nice pass. We'll take a look at the replay here. But might be something to be aware of moving forward as you see the penalties here. And it's a little extra stuff. Hey, how are you?
Hey, that's just hockey right there.
That's a little, and referees within their right to call it. Send them both. Keep the lid on the game.
That one chipped on goal. Kennedy paddles it to the corner, and that'll do it for the 4-on-4. Both players exit the box. That one thrown back towards the net, and a save by Kennedy for a whistle. And you were talking about goaltenders playing the puck. Sometimes it can burn you, though. You get, guys like Mike Smith in the NHL who sometimes do a little too much. It can come back to haunt you.
Yeah, they tend to remember the ones you mess up on. They don't remember the ones you help. But it is something where and it's not for everybody, right? I think there's some goaltenders that are honest with themselves and, hey, it's not a part of my game, and that's fine. But just noticing, a couple times there, Kennedy, I mean, those were good passes that can help sustain rush, especially when your team is struggling offensively. It's almost like a quarterback that can throw and run. It's just one more thing you've got to think about if you're defending, and I saw a couple times there where Kennedy did a nice job.
That one throw towards the middle as McLeod couldn't find it. Goes back to the far side, Young with it. Chip back up to center, Hansen tries to headman it ahead, but a nice job on the back check by Dukas. Closes her out. McLean stays with it. Nice chop there by McLeod. Able to get it to Young, who chips it in. Chipped onto the far side. Now Hansen. It's a pass in the middle. Here comes Cramp into the zone.
Penalty here. Be on Southern Maine.
So the first power play opportunity for the Beacons here in this one comes with 7:31 to go. So if you get one here, you can make things interesting.
Yeah, McLeod's going to go. You're exactly right. So this is really your last gasp. You've got to have a goal here. You've got a 7:30 on the clock, a 2-minute minor And you might even think about if you can get one. I was going to say maybe a timeout here to try to draw something up, but I think you probably have to get one before you start thinking about that.
Butters sends one towards goal, and that one pops in and out of the glove of McKim. Butters working down low.
Got to get somebody in front of the net here. There's Gustafson going now.
Kozic gets it over to Shantz. Shantz takes it into the corner. Shovels it over to McDougal.
I'd stay right there if I'm Gustafson. You've got to take McKim's eyes away.
McDougal throws it towards the goal, and it was tipped by Gustafson, but getting the pad on it was McKim. Beacons able to keep it in. Stewart, though, jumps right back on it and flips it down the river, and a little bit of extra stuff in front of the Huskies bench, and
we're going to get a penalty.
And I think it's going to be Butters.
Yeah, so this is interesting. Let's see I want to see what the refs, they're going to talk about this, because Butters was getting her stick held. There's no doubt about it. But she took an extra shot. And I'm wondering if they only are going to call the rough on Butters and not the stick hold. Because the referee was right there. I didn't see a penalty until Butters, it's just going to be the one roughing call. And that's tough. You know what? And that's tough on Butters. She's just trying to get her stick back. She took an extra shot. That's something you see. The refs are within their right to call that penalty, but I think if you're going to take one, you've got to take both. You got a holding the stick and a rough there. I don't see how you can just take the one player. And the holding the stick was the first infraction. The rough came afterwards. She doesn't make the rough unless the stick, comes back in her possession. So that's a tough call. That's a tough one, and that eliminates the power play for the Beacons. So pretty big call there. And Blanchard talking to him, I don't blame her because that not only did you skate 4-on-4 again, but you deserved a better outcome than that.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10 in the sport of hockey, they get the second guy.
Oh, yeah.
The retaliatory penalty mostly always gets called, but I agree in that situation, I think you got to send them both there.
Yeah.
And it kind of kills the momentum of having the power play.
Oh, big time. Yeah, now you're 4-on-4 again.
So the second 4-on-4 situation of the night and this period. Beacons control. Tip it up. Cramp brings it in. Stays with it. Cramp goes behind the net. Gets canceled out momentarily by Chagnon. Now St. Amant chips it ahead. Here comes Crowley. Crowley chips it towards the goal. And Kennedy knocked it down and was able to freeze the rebound. So 6:18 to go, and 48 seconds left on this 4-on-4 situation. And then the Huskies will have a brief power play. Maggio behind her own net. Tries to chip it to Wilbert on the far side. Wilbert has trouble with it. That one's thrown towards goal. Kennedy makes the save. Rebound comes right back out. Huskies stay with it. Young. Puck bounces off the kick plate. Stewart takes it. Has it on the far side. Backhands it into the far corner for Young. Young tries to center it. Stewart finds the loose puck. St. Amant tees one up. That gets deflected. Goes over the net. Off the glass. 10 seconds to go on the 4-on-4. And McLeod will exit the box. As now the Huskies will have a brief power play for about 40 seconds. But the Beacons do a good job of getting the puck in deep. Centering pass by McLeod. Nobody there, but good job by Hansen on the back check. Hansen cuts back towards the middle. Plays it over for Shantz. Shantz throws that one towards goal. Goes off of McDougal behind the net. And Crowley now collects. Headmans it the other way, gets it to Chagnon. Leaves it for Crowley. Crowley plays it around the kick blade. Chagnon cuts towards goal. Throws it in front. Nice save, Kennedy. Rebound comes loose, goes behind the net. Chagnon stays on it. McLeish with it. And that will do it for the brief power play for the Huskies, back to 5 aside, approaching 4:30 to go in this third period. Chagnon, another nice move, throws that one towards goal, puck deflects up in the air, and it goes in, they score. Nice effort by Chagnon, not sure who we're going to give the goal to on that one, as it kind of bounced up in the air and just fell right into the net, and that will most likely put the cherry on top, as it's 4-0 now for the Huskies.
Yeah, just another unfortunate bounce. You said it, that puck just went right up in the air with some backspin. Very tough for a goaltender. You're not used to looking upwards to try and find a puck, and went right behind her and in the net.
So Madison Chagnon, the sophomore out of St. Albans, Vermont, grabs her team-leading 4th goal of the season. And the Beacons find themselves in a huge hole with limited time left, as that one gets sent to the far side, takes a funky bounce off of the corner. Maggio collects, plays it to Gustafson. She'll flip it in. Paddled away by McKim into the far side corner. Comes out to Maggio at the point. Maggio walks towards the middle, decides to flip it to the far side. Gustafson banks it off of a skate behind the net. Maggio off the half wall, goes around the kick blade behind the net. That one's flipped high in the air, heads up, and that'll go out of play. And because of what would be a delay of game in pro hockey, they will not let the Huskies change because they flipped the puck out of play in their own end.
You like that rule? That's had some controversy to it recently.
So my thing with that rule is I think it should be discretionary by the official. I mean, if it's a clear accident where the puck's on edge, then I don't think it should be a penalty. But if it's a situation where guys have been on the ice for some time and it's clear they're trying to get a whistle, then I think it should be a penalty.
You're concerned about the intent.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, because there's been a few instances where games have, I don't know, been decided, but big momentum swings based on those calls. And like you said, sometimes the defenseman, the puck's rolling, or it takes a weird bounce off their blade, and it's clearly not intentional, but it's still a penalty.
And we've even seen times where, as there's some jawing in the corner, where goalies will make a save and then whack it with their stick out of play, and then that's called a penalty where, you know, obviously the goalie's not trying to whack the puck out of play.
Correct.
But that's my thought on that. As Beacons had a good opportunity, and offside here, another big collision right in front of us. Yeah, temper is starting to rise here.
We'll take a look at that 4th goal, and you're going to see here, folks, just as this puck is bouncing around almost like a pinball, just watch, it's going to elevate. So it's coming off the sidewall here, it's going to get deflected there, and you can see it's up and over. By the time Kennedy even realizes it's going behind her, it's already in the net. It's one of those, and that's 2 today where she's gotten some bad bounces that have ended up in the back of her net. She deserves a better fate than a 4 goals against day.
And it's the other way, a 3-on-1 opportunity. Going to the net, a shot. That goes just wide on the blocker side by Reifler. As once again, seems as if Haley McKim is in their heads.
Oh.
Big collision. Entering the zone has Liz Cramp.
You know, it's always funny. There's technically no hitting in women's hockey, right? But you watch this game, and I beg to differ.
It seems as if the officials have looked the other way a few times on that rule.
They've allowed some stuff, which is fine. I think
absolutely.
I think there's nothing wrong. You can call it incidental if you want. That hurt.
That went off of Emily Hansen, who I think has played a very strong game here tonight. She's been very good in the faceoff dot, has gone hard to the net. There's another save there by McKim with 1:53 to go.
She has. There's been a few. I think Krampus looked good. Gustafson in that third line have had put a couple shifts together. They're really, the score is not truly indicative of the way this game has gone. The Beacons definitely, in my opinion, deserve to probably lose this game. Southern Maine's done a little bit more to earn the win today, but they've been right there with them for all 3 periods. They just haven't found a way to finish. And you see there's your one of your top D in Buddington in the slot, and you missed the net. It's been a lot of that today, just getting 75, 80%, sometimes 90% of the way towards a goal, but not getting that last little percentage to get it across the line.
Lack of execution seems to be the theme for the Beacons today, unfortunately, as we approach the final minute.
And a hot goaltender. There were a few
Absolutely.
times Beacons deserved a goal and McKim shut the door, so I think it's a combination of both of those.
Without a doubt. There's another chance the other way for the Huskies, a 3-on-2, but a nice job there by Maggio closing in. That one's flipped into the corner. Maggio with it. Backhands it off the skate of Wilbert. Almost went in front. Now it does, and Kennedy's able to jump on the loose puck for a whistle. 55 seconds to go here in this one.
Yeah, a tough game for the Beacons. Again, I don't think they were too far off from being in this hockey game, and there's probably a few of those chances where McKim came up with a big save. If they go in, you wonder, with the way that hockey tends to swing momentum-wise, if we'd be singing a different song. But you got to give credit to Southern Maine. A road hockey game came in, executed very well. We're able to get that early lead and then just compound on it over time off the back of a very strong goaltender.
That puck gets shoveled towards the goal, and once again, Haley McKim paddles it away. And just looking at McKim's numbers this season, Southern Maine has a 1-4 record. They're going to go to 2-4 after this one, but a .923 save percentage, that's very good. As that one goes in on Kennedy, and she'll cover it. 2.40 goals against average and a .923 save percentage. I mean, it's
elite.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
That is numbers you want from your goaltender. That's a goaltender that's going to give you a chance to win on a nightly basis if they put up numbers like that.
Yeah, you see that at any level. If you've got a strong goaltender, you can make that your strategy. Hey, we're going to try to win hockey games 1-0, 2-1, 3-2. We're really not going to try to outscore teams. We're going to play strong defense, let our goaltender keep us in it, see if we can hold on to a lead.
And on the Beacon side of things, Victoria Kennedy has been solid here as well today. Kind of got hung out to dry a couple of times. Also a couple funky goals.
Yeah, some of which were not her fault. I'm trying to think of all 4 goals. I really don't think one of them was her fault completely. Just one of those days. That's the life of a goaltender. Sometimes you're going to get that bounce and it goes away from the net, and sometimes it's going to go in the net.
And that will do it for this one, as the Huskies will take a 4-0 victory. Haley McKim with the shutout. That's her first of the season. And the Beacons will drop to 3-2, now 2-2 in conference play. As you see the Huskies celebrating with their goaltender, as both teams will shake their hands, but not what the Beacons wanted here this afternoon.
No, listen, a nice win for the Huskies here, and they have to be happy finishing their Saturday with a W on the way back to Maine. I think if you're UMass, it's an interesting weekend, right? You win 4-0 and you lose 4-0 at home. There was a lot in this game that I think they can draw upon and cultivate to go moving forward and to build off of. But the two things that stand out for me, one, I think the passing has to raise, the level has to increase. There were far too many times where passes were just not going to anyone in particular, and those are basically turnovers. You got to limit those. And then the other piece, too, is I think they had a lot of individual shifts that were good, but they had a tough time putting them together. And it's hard, unless you're going to score on those individual shifts, to create offense that way. Usually with offense, it's a few shifts you're able to put together, and then you find the back of the net. So those are just two things that I think the Beacons will improve upon as the course of the season continues to transpire, but I think that was the difference in this hockey game.
Just want to remind everyone watching that the final 5 minutes of that period are brought to you by McCourt Construction. But it'll be a 4-0 final here from Edward T. Brady Ice Rink. The Beacons fall to the University of Southern Maine Huskies. And we'll be right back to go over the final scoring summary and statistics here on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
I'm the first undergraduate alumnus to lead this university. I'm very proud of that. I was literally able to transform my life because of the University of Massachusetts, and I want that for every single student that walks through the door.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
Cheer for the stumbles. The he shoulda had that's. And the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There, you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
The University of Massachusetts Boston, with its scenic oceanfront campus, easily accessible to downtown Boston, is recognized as a model of excellence for urban public universities. 16 NCAA Division III sports are part of the more than 100 student organizations that create an engaging campus life in America's biggest and best college town. UMass Boston, Boston's urban public research university for the 21st century.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in their campus and in their lives outside of that sport. It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't
And we're back here at Edward T. Berry Ice Rink to wrap things up. Once again, final score. University of Southern Maine 4, UMass Boston Beacons nothing. As we look at our final scoring summary, it was Madeline McLeish who opened the scoring on a breakaway, her second of the season, as Southern Maine then made it 2-0 with Jess McLean shot from the point. That one straight in. And then the third goal, Madeline McLeish gets her third of the season, second of the game. And then the fourth and final goal came from Amanda Crowley, who they're giving it credit to, who I guess batted it home on that weird deflection where the puck went high up in the air. And that was it for the scoring here in this one. As you look at our final stats, final shots of the game, Huskies win that battle 34-28. 30 saves for Kennedy tonight, and 28 for McKim, who was absolutely outstanding all night. And power plays, the Beacons were 0 for 1, and they didn't even get to finish that, as ended up being a 4-on-4 situation. They took a penalty halfway through. The Huskies were 0 for 2 on the power play, and you look at the penalties, Beacons had 4 penalties for 8 minutes, and the Huskies 2 for 4. And before we wrap things up here and thank our productions company, or our productions people, we're going to look at the upcoming schedule for the women's ice hockey team as they will be at Elmira on November 18th. That'll be 6 p.m., another conference matchup. 11-19, the next night they'll be at William Smith, as it'll be a 3 p.m. puck drop, another conference game. Then they'll be back home on the 26th, a non-conference game against Colby, 3 p.m. puck drop. And 11-27, they will be at Bowdoin Nazareth. Puck drop for that one to be determined. And on 12-2, December 2nd, they will be at Worcester State for a 7-10 p.m. puck drop non-conference. Just want to thank our productions team here tonight. Producer Michael Vesey, directors Malik Lorquette. I'm Andrew Bluestein, along with Matt Maschenbacher, as camera operators Jackson Snyder, Georgia Bonney, Gina Albino, Marino Jimenez, and graphics Maria Spios, and replay Alina Albano. Once again, I'm Andrew Bluestein, saying goodnight